Hey, bud.
John,
Oops. Hey, bud.
how are you, sir?
I'm good, I think. Let's check out this. We've got about a dozen slides. I have to go through them pretty fast. Most of them are just like announcements for the next line. I like that background. That's one of the nicer ones you've had.
It's a picture I took of looking from Reno south through Carson Valley.
Oh, cool. All right, let me try to share screen. All right, same situation. I've got Zoom. I'm back to that Zoom page again. Now I did set this up in advance. On my laptop, it's got the first slide.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that slide. So you're sharing Sunday with Monday Live.
But I'm not seeing what I need to be seeing on the slide.
All right, so I'm just kind of curious how you launched Zoom and what you did with PowerPoint.
Well,
So,
I started PowerPoint first.
Yeah.
I went through this data, I did the switch.
Perfect.
And then I did not minimize it. I put it, it's in the background. It's behind.
Okay. So is Zoom taking up your whole screen then?
Yes.
Okay. So can you just drag the top of it down?
Yeah. Just keep, well, it went back into full size again. Drag it all the way off the page.
I wouldn't do that. I would just make it halfway.
I dragged, I went off and then it came back on again, full force.
Right. Okay. So you got to
Halfway,
let it,
okay.
you got to drag that edge, right? Not move the whole screen. You just have to reduce the size of the box.
Hold on.
So likely if you just double click in the top right corner, or not in the right corner, but like up in the top edge somewhere, if you just double click on it,
Well,
it'll,
I'm doing that up in like in the left corner, but I could do it in the right.
as you
I
wish,
need
but
to do that thing first, right? Okay, now I got it. Now it's there. It's taking up about half the screen.
so now find your PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint is it's on the right. You and I are on top of it. I can move that. So now I want to make the PowerPoint full thing, right? Maximize.
No, normally I do it half and half. I keep my PowerPoint, just depends on what you want to look at.
Well, I don't want to look at Zoom, which is taking up half my page.
What do you want to look at the people, or do you want to look at
I want to look at
slides?
I want to look at the slide. I want to look at the people, of course.
So then you want when you say your Zoom, are you talking about you and me?
No, I'm talking about something that says Zoom, open Zoom meeting.
Just close
That
that.
thing. Can I minimize that?
Yeah. Because that's not what we want. You want this meeting.
Right. Now I now got that. I've got the slide taking up almost the whole page, and you and I are in the corner, down on the right.
Are you saying that we're a little tiny box?
You and I are in boxes.
Do you see your slide?
Huh?
Do you see your slide as well?
Yes.
Okay. So then move that screen around the way you want.
The screen is fine.
Oh, okay. So you're happy?
I think so. So let me do stop share now, right? And then all I got to do is go back to share screen when the time comes.
You're still sharing.
What are you seeing?
Sunday with Monday Live and us. Normal view. I'm seeing gallery view.
All right, now, so I'm saying, all right, I've got to do the stop share in order to get back to where I can see the gallery view.
Remember, you do that with your Zoom controls, right? Up on top there.
Well, I don't know about none of them on top. It's at the bottom of the screen, I think. I think I have to hit stop share so I can go back into the,
Okay, so where's the stop share button?
at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, well, then stop share.
Okay, now, to go back, hold on, I'm just going to test it. Share screen. And that should take me, but now I got to click on it again, it looks like. All right.
Yeah, it's always a two-step
And then
process to
stop
share a
share.
screen, right?
All
You
right,
have to share what you want and then hit the share button.
I think we're good. I see that Brian Longhurst is,
Now you're going to want to make me co-host before
oh
we
yeah,
get too much further down the road.
right.
So in participants, and then
Did you look at the slides?
I did. I didn't quite make sense of the one that you made for me, though. It seems conflicting. I'm not sure I understand what you're asking.
You mean the one after you or the one just?
Yeah, the one you wanted me to comment on.
Oh, you do the kind of logistics for people?
Right, but then you said don't put comments in while the speaker's talking, but put your questions in chat. There's only one place to put in questions and comments. That's in chat.
It's not been my experience. It's been my experience that's true, but then there's also the people they write things at the bottom of the screen.
That's all chat, sir. So that
Well,
just depends on where you put. I mean, if you don't want to watch chat, then just don't have chat open.
I didn't understand. Well, maybe you can explain it. It's too late for me to go back and change that now. I remember once there was this, I don't know what it was, but there was something going on. It was a group of us having a discussion, and somebody actually put at the bottom of the screen, I've got to go to the bathroom. I'll see you back later. And meanwhile, the speaker is speaking, and it's like, we
So
don't
that
need
was
that.
that would have been how the speaker presented chat, but it has nothing to do with. There's only one way to interact with people in Zoom, and that's with chat. And so there's not two different places to put in comments. There's not.
All right. Well, I just remember that happening and finding it, and I've seen it happen other times on the screen, and I just find it,
On Zoom platform?
yeah, it's the only platform I have any familiarity with at all.
Well, you can join other things, but okay. But that has everything to do with how you have chat displayed.
I see. Well, now I've
Not
got it
necessarily.
over here out to the right, which is, well, is it over here to the right? I don't know where it is at the moment. I don't use, if I were to click on chat, maybe you have to designate where it goes.
You do, so chat can actually be locked to the screen, right? So if you click on chat, do you have chat open?
No, I'll click on it.
Okay, and so is it anchored to the far right of your screen now?
It's on the right now below the names of the people who are beginning to come on.
Okay, and that's fine because that's where it would normally go. That's what they call that is merged to meeting window. So it's sitting there in the meeting window, which is fine.
Okay.
Unless you want to, if you notice next to the file button, there's three dots
File button
in chat on the bottom of chat.
in the bottom of chat.
It says to
Everyone,
everyone, file.
no, I
And
don't
then
see dots. Oh, they're way over, the little tiny dots on the far right.
and
Yeah.
if you click on that,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see that there is an option that is how you can let everybody interact with everybody or just with you or whatever. So you can actually control how
Oh,
people
really?
chat. Yes. Right now it's set with everyone can publicly and directly, which is fine. And
Well,
then
I
if you,
kind of like it so that, well, you've got to be able to see the chat. I don't care to see the chat because I think that might actually be distracting for me. I want to just be
then
focused
then
on.
just then if you go to the top of chat and there's a little down arrow right next to the word chat.
Top of, oh, okay. Well, I don't see that, but I see a down arrow at the very top.
Is it on participants or is that on?
It's on participants, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm talking about on the top of chat, not on the top of participants.
On the top of chat.
Yes, the chat is there's two boxes. There's chat. And
Oh, I see now. Okay, there's a separate box. Okay, I see that.
Okay. And then if you look at that down arrow, you'll notice it says close and pop out.
All right, so I'm gonna close it just so it won't be a distraction.
Yeah, that'll work.
Cool.
And I'll be monitoring it.
And you'll be buying. I think it should be closed for the other people too, so that they need to write in it if they want to ask a question or something.
Yeah, you can't close it for them.
So there are people looking to come in.
Yeah, I was just waiting for us to finish this dialogue before I did that.
Yeah, me
Are
too.
you ready to go?
I think so.
Do you like how you look on screen?
Well, it's as normal as I can be.
Okay, let's let him in.
This is my hair. Okay.
Yeah, no, you look fine.
All right, let me admit all. We can just start. We can chat with the folks that are. Well, some of them are coming in on the. Someone. Did you let them in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hi, Brian. No, he's not long. Hi, Dan. I hear somebody's. Oh, probably Monica. I hear water running somewhere. I think these are just folks getting on early.
Brian, just making sure that they're connected. Just making sure that they're connected.
Yeah. Good. Oh, so I've been reading some of Sebastian's book this morning. This is the way he got this is just he heard it in Spanish, typed it in Spanish, then heard it in English and typed it in English.
That's impressive. Wow. So much for learning another language.
And
Just
sometimes he got words he didn't know. And in fact, it's in one of the pieces that Glenn sent to me to put in Miracles Magazine. There was a word that I didn't know from Sebastian, and I had a sense of it, but I didn't know what. And I had to look it up in a dictionary. And Glenn said, "Yeah, that every once in a while, Sebastian, words he had to look up in dictionaries."
Interesting.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Very. Somebody's got an audio on somewhere. Hey, Monica.
Hey, John.
Good to see you, hon.
Thank you. You too. And good to see everybody else.
Welcome. We're going to have a full house today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think we got, of course, the number of people that registered aren't always what show up, but 71, I think.
71, you said?
71.
Wow.
Yeah. Diane, can you hear me? Your mute's on, Dan. Hit your space bar or unmute yourself 1 to 2.
There we go.
Hey, yep. Bro, are you out in Wyoming?
Yeah.
I mean, I look at I haven't seen your background there before.
Oh yeah, I guess we haven't Zoomed, before, right?
No, I guess not. Thanks for joining us today. This is going to be a very interesting day.
Absolutely, yeah. This is fun.
Have you had a chance to read any of Sebastian's stuff?
I have. I haven't completed all the volumes that are out on.
Well, yeah, there are 7.
Yeah. Man, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Well, I see Brian's. I've watched his videos, but I've never met him in person. And
no, I haven't either, even though we've been corresponding for many years.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. It's not on yet.
Well, I was just getting out of the shower. My girlfriend Audie's going to be here in a second. I might mute and reorient myself in the room here. I'm so glad to be here, though. Good to see you.
It is so good to see you. And how's Jackson Hole?
It's good. Good. We're
I bet it is. I want to come there someday. I really do. I'd love to introduce my wife to that.
yeah, getting a lot of skiing in. There.
Oh, she won't be skiing, but
Yeah.
There's the man of the hour, Sebastian.
hey, Sebastian. Morning.
Hello,
Hello.
morning, John and everyone. Nice to see you, Dan.
Good to see you, Sebastian. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Wow.
Sebastian, up in the upper left is Bud James, who's my co-host, who will be kind of doing some of the technical end of things. He'll also be fielding questions that are going to come from people, and then the chat to then send over to you. So we can do it too, that people can write the question, or if they really want to ask it in person themselves, they can come on and do that. But if they just want to let Bud present the question, we'll do that too. We do have a few slides to begin with, Sebastian, just sort of announcements about what's coming up at other times and things like that. It'll maybe take us 5-10 minutes to go through that at least before we get around to you. And Glenn suggested that, I think I already told you, that you introduce yourself, and I think that's a better idea. You probably have more idea than anybody else does. So we'll do that when the time comes. And this is Monica, who's often with us, almost always.
Oh, Monica.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
You
you.
know
You too.
Brian by chance, Longhurst, Sebastian?
Yeah, I know Brian. I have the honor to know him and Teresa, his wife.
Oh, good. I thought maybe you would. I don't know who Dominique is. I don't see a Dominique on our list. But people have been able to join the last couple of days.
John, hello, John. Dominique is on your list. I have signed in for today. I am a part of the wonderful group in Sedona with John Harrington. And I sign in, and I'm thrilled to see Sebastian and see all of you.
Well, wonderful. I'm glad that you're here. Can you get do we have a visual on you?
No, not right now. Thank you.
Okay. That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Paula. You got a feedback now.
Hard.
Paula, where are you from?
I'm from Florida, Vero Beach, Florida.
Vero Beach?
Yep.
I was supposed to be in Vero Beach in March. Something happened and I didn't make it.
Well, you were here, what, maybe 2 years ago? I came and heard you then at the Unity Church.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Got a lot of friends there. Hopefully I'll be back. Next year, maybe, not this year. Okay, I expect Glenn pretty soon. So, Bud, Dan lives in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Doesn't that look like a Jackson Hole, Wyoming house?
Very Wyoming, yes,
Very Wyoming, right?
yes.
Yeah. Are you letting people in, or are they just coming in? Okay, good, thank you. Hey, John.
Good morning.
How is you?
Doing pretty good. Bright and sunny here in Florida.
Is it? Are we going to be able to see you?
No, because Virginia just called me to lunch, and what I'm going to do, John, is that I cast it to the big screen TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so that way we both can watch it. I know
Oh,
that's
nice.
kind of cutting corners, but that's what we do.
Oh, that's not cutting corners at all. If I could do that, I'd do it too.
So right now, I'm going to go and grab some lunch.
Yes, go ahead. You've got 12 minutes.
I'll be there.
I know you will. See you soon. Sounds from the villages.
Oh, in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah, the infamous villages.
Here's Glenn.
Dan again.
Is this your office that we're looking at in the background, John?
Yeah.
Aha.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Glenn.
Good morning,
Good morning.
or afternoon, as the case may be.
Oh, it's
Hello,
still morning.
Sebastian.
It'll be
Hello,
afternoon in
Danny. Hello,
12 minutes.
Bud. Oh, it's nice to see you. Hey,
Always
Brian. Oh,
nice
my
to see you
goodness.
too, sir.
Yeah, Dan's here.
Oh.
So I'm gonna call on you at some point, Glenn, to, hey, Muffy, how you doing, hon?
She can't hear you. Hold on a second.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, you got earphones on.
Yeah, I have my earphones on.
I got it. Yeah. Well, good to see her.
Bud, you look like you're really in an awesome spot.
That's a picture I
that?
took right just a few miles south of where I live in
Wow.
Reno. So that's
You're in Reno. Yeah, we're practically neighbors, you know.
yeah, I know. You're right over the hill.
Yeah, right.
So you got to cross the border there, right?
Little hill
Well, it's a
called
pretty big
Sierra.
hill.
Yeah.
It's a 7,200 foot hill.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, it gets higher than that. It gets up to, let's see, Mount Rose Peak is
Oh, yeah.
8460, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They go up to 10,000 feet, but I'm just talking about the highway.
That's
I
true.
got
The
you.
highway. Yeah.
Oh, and Elizabeth. Wow.
Hi.
Hey,
Nice to see you
Elizabeth.
all.
My goodness. So good to see you.
Yes, you too. It's been a while, over a year now since that October Miracles in the Mountains, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
October 18, I guess it was.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Great. Certainly have enjoyed your writing, dear. What's that on your
Thank
hand?
you. Thank you. I just, I have some interesting things coming up. I just sent something to Glenn, so.
I didn't look at it yet, but I saw it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know, and I
thank
didn't
you.
even realize the time was this close to, well, it's 11 o'clock here. And I went, oh, Sebastian's coming on. Well, I'll just send this off quick. And I thought it was going to take me weeks, but it took me an hour. So sometimes it just unfolds better than you think.
We'll wait till about 2 minutes after before we actually start, because I know there's going to be people trying to get in at the very end.
Morning, John.
Hey, Mark, good to see you. Or to see your son.
Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hey,
There's Glenn,
hey, Glenn.
Dan.
So, Bud, I have a question. Is this background too bright for me?
Oh,
Is
No,
that
it
a,
looks wonderful.
you know, we can see your face. It's okay. Normally, I would suggest that, you know, you reduce it a little bit, but we can still see you. So it's fine.
do you have
Well, maybe I
shades for that window?
Maybe I could
by any
move
chance?
around. I'm sorry, what, John?
Do you have any shade for the window?
No, we we like it open.
I just meant maybe I got these big windows on my right here, but I
Yeah, wait,
got
no,
simple
no,
shades still for them.
no, we
A
don't
lot
have
of
that.
the
Oh,
modern
I can
cameras
move.
make adjustments. I don't know. We like looking out your window.
Yeah, really. I'm actually I see both your place and Dan's place. Oh, that's very good. That's much nicer, Glenn.
You're always too bright, Glenn.
Dan.
Brightness up.
Let the light shine through.
It's got to be summertime still for Sebastian, right?
All right.
Did we lose him?
We did. I was.
Looks like
noticing-
it.
I noticed he had a intermittent connection as it was.
Oh, really?
He may need to reboot.
Okay, well, he's got time. Hey, Jessica.
Hi, John. Hello,
Nice to
everybody.
see you.
Oh,
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Oh, Reverend Regia.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, you've got a nice
see you.
background, honey. Yeah, that's a really pretty.
So much
how did
fun.
you get that? How did you
It's-
make that background? What is that?
Oh yeah, just it's just a JPEG on my computer. So if you go to your video settings and choose virtual background and then hit the plus sign and go to your computer and put in a picture. I change them all the time.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's
So much-
awesome.
Yep.
Hello, Greg. Hello, Patricia.
Hi.
Hi, Glenn.
Patricia.
There you are. I see you.
I can't stay. I've got to go, but Greg will be
Who's
here.
Who said that? Hi, folks.
Hi.
Hello, John.
Hey, Charles.
Sebastian's coming back.
Judy. Sebastian's back.
Oh, there's Sebastian.
Hello, Sebastian.
Hi, Sebastian.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry about that. I just pushed the wrong button.
It happens.
Hello, John.
Brian.
Hello, Sebastian.
Thanks, John.
Looking forward to our session today.
Oh, good to see you finally.
Took me a minute. I realized I didn't have my little window thing open. So
Me too.
I'm good now. I was like, why isn't this working? It always works. So
You're good.
hello, Beth. It's good to see you. I want to share my gratitude for what you're doing with the reading of the text and the different gifts you're sharing with us. And you know, it's a joy, and I do enjoy all the harmony that comes, you know, from our individual gifts. But thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I get my name on here, honey?
If you right click on your face, you'll actually have a rename option.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yep.
right click on your face.
Right click on your own face, you'll have a rename option.
Where
and
do
then-
where is the rename option? Because my name is not Pula, it's Paula Hardin.
all you have to do, all you
I
have to
wondered
do,
about that, Paula.
Pulala.
I thought
This
it
is
was
a
part
quick
of a
way to change
song.
your identity.
Yeah, well, you know, that's another option. So it's all an
All these
illusion.
chances.
But yeah, just right click on your face and you'll see a rename option, and then you can hit rename. And then
Click on my face.
Hey, Russ.
Oh,
right click
Hi, John.
on
How you
your own,
doing?
your own face. That's right. Hello, Glenn.
Hello.
Sebastian, I just really wanted to thank you for the gift I was able to receive, and I'm looking forward to
So your name's still on there, honey. I don't see
I
mine.
really did.
There. You're Paula. You're Paula now.
Gotta say, okay.
Hi, Beth. I
I
just want
didn't
to
see
say
that.
hi.
Anymore.
Hi, Jean.
Hey,
How are you?
Paula Hardin, it's good to see you.
Yeah, hi, Glenn. I don't know most of these people, but I do know you.
No, I don't.
Kind of hard to know everybody. We got them from all over the world here.
Hello, Lawrence.
Hi, Glenn.
There we go.
Hi, Greg.
About 5 minutes, folks, and we'll start. Hi, Jean. Nice to see you.
Hi. Hi, John.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, and to you.
Oh, there's my sweetheart. I saw my sweetheart, Muffy. Hey, there she is.
Morning.
Oh, I was going to say,
Hi, Muffy. Good
Hi,
to meet you.
Muffy.
Hey.
different room, obviously.
Hello, Muffy.
Yeah. Teresa is going to be joining me in a moment. I hope it's permitted to have two people on one screen.
Of course.
Only if you paid double, Brian.
I've been paying double for 50 years. Oh, but don't tell my wife I said that. Just kidding, of course.
Right. She's standing behind you, you know.
Don, is this your home or your office that you're
It's my
sitting
office, yeah.
at? Nice and
Well,
roomy.
it's just your home office.
My home office, yes.
Yes.
Actually, it's the space above the garage, which is really nice.
It looks nice.
Hi, everybody. It's Sam and Adele.
Hey, hello, Sam. Hello, Adele.
Hi, Glenn. Hi, Muffy.
Hi, Muffy. Oh, we get a twofer there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, did you pay double?
Did we pay double?
By Teresa and me sitting in front of one camera, we only pay once, whereas you, Glenn, you and Muffy in front of a camera each. You
Yes,
must
that's
be
true.
paying double.
We are, yes.
Okay.
They've already overpaid as it is.
Hallelujah. Bless them.
Like 3 minutes, I'm gonna start.
John, hi.
Hey, Lynn. What's going on?
Hi, Lynn.
Morning.
Hi. Wonderful to be here.
Yep. Nice sunshine on your face this morning, it looks like.
I love this apartment. I lived in the basement for 10 years.
I know. It's good
That
to
was
get out
my-
of bed, huh?
That was my cave though. I loved it. I was able to write a lot, but now I'm in the sun.
Now, who is it that says iPad? Do we have a name to go with iPad?
That's Nancy Sherper. Hello, everybody. Blessings and love.
A couple of them,
Hi, Nancy.
actually.
Lawrence.
By the way, there is an option on your iPad.
hey,
You change your
Greg.
name.
Hi, Sam and Adele.
Hi,
Hi,
sweetie.
good to see you. Where's your other half?
She had to do something. I forget what.
We don't pay attention.
Okay.
Hi, John. Oh, Karen Floyd. Hello, Karen Floyd.
Hi, Glenn. Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hi, Glenn.
Hey, Karen, long time no see.
Oh, and Jimmy Murphy. Very good.
How do I get your weekly magazine or whatever? Okay, very good. I'll find out.
You're talking about miracles? Oh, hi, Mandy. Nice to see you. Sorry I couldn't get back to you appropriately yesterday.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Nice to meet you.
Jimmy, I think that John would maybe have a heart attack if he realized that his magazine is supposed to be weekly.
No,
I was
I'm sorry.
wondering that. I thought, wow, he's got a.
Believe it or not, Lynn, it was weekly for the first several years. It was weekly, but based on whatever my sermon was from the Sunday before.
Convenient.
I'll get a hold of you, Glenn. I meant this, the newsprint or something from A Course of Love.
Oh,
yeah, it's a monthly, but whatever. Yeah. Jimmy, just be in touch and we can work all that out. Yeah. And
Folks, I think let's go ahead and start.
Mandy.
It's 2 minutes after. Not everybody is here, I don't think yet, but we want to try to be fairly much on time. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go through a few slides to start. These are just announcements. And then we'll introduce Sebastian. Actually, I have had Sebastian introduce himself. And it's just going to be kind of dialoguing with Sebastian, but I want him to share whatever it is that he is inspired to share. And we have a suspicion about where that inspiration is coming from. We'll go along with it. So let me first
If you want to
share screen here.
bring it here.
Hey, John, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. You'll need to take yourself off mute.
Okay. All right. So this is just our opening slide. So our program today, it's really being brought to you by the 1-9 Foundation, which was founded by my friend David Fishman many years ago. And Miracles Magazine. If you're not a subscriber to Miracles Magazine, know that you will automatically become one by being here today, unless you don't want to receive it. But we do need your address, your street address. However, it's also available by digital format, so you can get it either way. I think the magazine issue is nicer because you can actually pick it up and look at it, as opposed to having to search around in your computer whenever you want to look at it. Okay. Just want you to know that 20% of whatever comes in to any of the miracles programs that I do goes to Feed America First. And we will continue to do that as long as that seems to be necessary. And I want you to meet Bud, who is my co-host. Bud's a graduate of the seminary here in New York that we work with. He's an instructor and consultant of information technology and a U.S. Air Force Special Operations veteran. And I'm going to let Bud kind of talk to you about some of the logistics that we're going to have today. So I'll go to the next slide for that. Bud, you want to share some of the logistics?
Yeah, if everybody could take a look at your screen right now and look in the far upper right-hand corner, unless you're on an iPad, it's a little bit different. But if you look, you'll see a view button up there. And if you just click that view button, you'll notice that you've got a couple of different options. The best one to choose for right now is side-by-side speaker, because it'll just focus on who's speaking and the presentation, whatever is being shared, all of John's screens. When we go back to a gallery view, John will say, okay, we're going to look at everybody. We're going to talk about gallery view or open discussions. You can change that view to gallery and you'll be able to see everybody. It's pretty easy. And I'll be monitoring chat throughout as well as the waiting room. So if for whatever reason you drop off and come back, I'll make sure I let you in. And if you've got a question or a comment, please throw it in chat. I'll be monitoring it and more than happy to share that with the group.
Thanks, Bud. So also, there'll be a 10-minute bathroom break around 1 o'clock. So if you need to get some to eat or whatever, and there'll be a little clock on the screen that will say you got 9 minutes and 58 seconds and going on down until we're back. We'll come right back on exactly 10 minutes after we start the break. Just to let you know a little bit about what's coming up with the Monday programs. The next one is one that I'm going to do in just 2 weeks from today. Most of these I've been doing with guests, but once in a while I'm going to do one on my own. And one that I enjoy doing on my own is a concept in A Course in Miracles. It's called God's Plan for Salvation. Just so happens that turns out to be GPS, which helps us to find our way home. It's 2 weeks from today. You'll get a notice about that. So today we have Sebastian, and I want to let you know what's coming up next in terms of guests is Lisa Natoli, who's one of the founders of the Teachers of God Foundation, and she's going to be here on February 14th. So guess what we're going to talk about on February the 14th? I think we can manage to get a whole session on love, and then in March 14th, Marianne Williamson is going to be on. Marianne's an old friend, actually sort of a strange thing. Marianne and I were friends pre-course. She was my then girlfriend's housemate back in the 1973. That's the year I met Helen and Bill, and Marianne picked up the course in 78. So also want you to know I've got 2 classes going on right now on the Course in Miracles. It's the same class. One meets on Thursday evening. The other, Tuesday evening, the other meets on Thursday afternoon. Our overall topic right now is the power of responsible decision making, which is an important concept in the course. You can join anytime. Go to our website, check on that, miraclesmagazine.org. We have a sliding fee or a policy of no one turned away who cannot pay. And let's talk about why we are really here. We are here to see Sebastian and hear from Sebastian. And Sebastian, I gave you a title, Remembering Our First Love. I thought that would be general enough for you for what we're doing. And so that's it. I'd like to, if we can, Glenn, I'm open to let's go back to gallery view, I guess, or whatever, to speaker side-by-side view. And Glenn, could you just say a word about why you decided to publish this guy's books?
Well, John, you asked me about that, and actually, that's the first time I can remember being asked why I published Course Choose Only Love, and it didn't come to me immediately, but it came to me this morning. It was very clear. So in 2016, I got to know Sebastian. April 2016, he got in touch with me. He had discovered A Course of Love. In February 2017, Muffy and I went to Argentina, visited him. I felt Sebastian's purity. I just felt it. He then would become, a couple of years later, the publisher of the Spanish edition of A Course of Love, Un Curso de Amor, which was being translated by our dear friend Coralie. In October of 2018, he received the first vision and message that led to Choose Only Love. Now, even though I have loved A Course in Miracles since 1978, it was a central point in my spiritual life. Nevertheless, I didn't feel complete. When your soul searches, there's something more to be found. Then I did discover A Course of Love, and with A Course of Love, really ingesting it, I didn't feel the need to know more. It became a matter of living that truth. And I also felt complete professionally. I was publishing A Course of Love. I wasn't really interested in publishing anything else. So I don't recall Sebastian ever asking me to publish Choose Only Love. Maybe he did, but I certainly don't remember it. Somehow I just knew that I would, and that it was the right thing for me to do. So, so working with Sebastian on Choose Only Love and preparing the books in English has been a complete, total pleasure. And for me, I characterize Choose Only Love as like being embraced by the angels and having an intimate conversation. And yes, there's learning that takes place, but it's not about learning. It's about being. It's about being the love that we really are. So that's my long answer to why did I publish it?
That's a great answer. Very good. Thank you very much. So we're going to go straight to Sebastian now. I'm going to ask Sebastian himself if he would be willing to introduce himself, seeing how guess who knows more about Sebastian than Sebastian, right? So Sebastian, you want to come on and say hi? And we've had a few times together, a little bit of time in Philadelphia a couple years ago, and then yesterday or one day this week for a little while. And so is Sebastian there?
Sure.
Yes.
First, I would like to thank you, John, and Glenn, for making this possible. From the beginning, when I joined this Zoom call, I started to see all of you and to feel the gratitude in my heart for being witness of how the Spirit unites all of us into this holy moment. So I really want to thank you and everyone for making this possible from the bottom of my heart. And before introducing myself, I would like to answer the question that Glenn Hoveman has made just a couple of minutes before, whether I asked him to publish Choose Only Love or not. And I didn't ask him, and I didn't ask anyone to publish what I received from the voice of Christ, because Jesus said to me clearly once that I have to receive and collect whatever I receive, and he will create a work of collaboration. So he said to me, you don't have to do anything, because I will send my angels in the earth in order to make this masterpiece to be extended all over the world, like a divine orchestra, like a choir of the angels that I see. So he showed me the choir of angels that I receive in these manifestations. And he said to me, creation is like a choir, because it's a work of collaboration. So your only task is to receive and to be abandoned to me. And I will send everyone who is part of my divine plan in order to create this movement of beautiful love, which is part of the second Advent. And then Glenn appeared, and many other angels in the earth came to me in order to be part of this movement. And I really thank God for giving me the opportunity to know all of you and everyone who is part of this movement. And it was shown to me as well how the second Advent is creating the new right now, with many brothers and sisters all over the world who are shining in the light of Christ, having different activities, different roles in this divine orchestra. So I wanted to make that explanation to let you know that we all can be a pencil in the hands of God in order to write the story of the new creation. And that's what Glenn and others are being in this masterpiece. That's why I really thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. And now, going back to what I have to say, which is my introduction. I'm Sebastian Blaksley. I born in Argentina in a traditional, large and Catholic family. And I'm divorced. I have 2 daughters. I live in Buenos Aires right now. And I had a very close relationship with Jesus and Mary since I have memories. depending on the different stages of my life, that relationship took different expressions, but it's always the same relationship with Jesus and Mary. One of those important moments was when I was young, almost 6 years old, and I was in the car of my mother with some of my brothers and sisters at that time, and the car had an accident with the train. A train crashed with the car, and one of my brothers, whose name is Peter, died in that accident. And I jumped because of that accident behind the train. And I could feel perfectly well the presence of an ineffable strength and power who took my body in order to protect it from train. And when the train passed through me, he moved me in order to take my body away from where it was, because it was dangerous. And without any decision on my own, I was just moved by that presence. And that presence gave me what I would say at that time, his hand, in order to stand up. And when I stand up, I was out of any risk at that time, couple of meters away from the train. And he said to me, "Don't be afraid. I'm here with you." And he was repeating and repeating that every time to me. And when he said that, no fear was possible in my heart. And I felt the embrace of someone who knows me from ever and ever, from all eternity, and that I know from all eternity as well. It was like remembering someone who you really know from all eternity. And the only thing that I felt at that moment was an immense and ineffable love that was embracing me. And he was with me during the whole day, saying me, "Don't be afraid, I'm with you." And that was a very significant part of my relationship with Jesus and Mary. But after that, they were with me in a more clear way every single day in my life. And I say, because I fall in love at that moment with Jesus and Mary, because of the experience of this unconditional love. I didn't understood at that moment why I was kept in this world, because I couldn't find any other love that is like that. And Jesus said to me, "Because you have a mission that I will reveal at the right time." And after that moment, I understood that I'm living in the will of God, and that everything is perfect in my life, because I have the experience of receiving the miracles that come from Jesus and Mary in our daily life. So I started to have a relationship with them in which everything that happens in my life is given to them. And in 2013, I listened to Jesus saying to me, "You will start to write for me. You will be a pencil in the hands of God." He also uses the expression, "a pencil in the hands of love." And he started to give me the words that I receive. And he said to me not to do anything with that except for collecting them. And at the right time, they will see the light, as I explained before. In this path of my spirituality, in my direct relationship with God through Jesus and Mary, there were different significant moments. It was very interesting, based on my experience, how everything makes sense and when you connect back the dots. So there was a time in which the spiritual books were so important to me, and they used to come to me in a miraculous way. That happened with the books of Saint Teresa of Avila first, and then Saint John the Cross, which were absolutely significant for my spirituality at that time. And all of them came to me in the same way. When I am praying in the adoration in silence, in the chapel of adoration, I listen to Jesus saying to me what the book has to be, found and follow. I don't want to get into details on that, but I think it's what I'm trying to say, that those books are shown to me. And there was a time in which that book was A Course in Miracles, which was a book that I never heard before. And I started to work with A Course in Miracles during 5 years. And when I finished that, in the same way, it was explained to me that and given to me a course of love. That is what Glenn Hoveman is telling us before when I joined a course of love. And actually, what I always say is they joined me rather than I joined them, because they come literally to me through this experience of receiving what I have to do from the Holy Spirit. And after that, we started to have a holy relationship with Glenn. And that's why I'm here. I mean, this wonderful journey of love that comes from Jesus and Mary brought me here to be with all of you. And I really thank you, John, for bringing this expression of returning back to the first love, because that was what our Immaculate Mother Mary said to me about this manifestation. She said that we always go back to the first love, and that is God. And she is going to be in charge of allowing us to remember that first love, where we come from. And when we remember who we love the most, which is our divine source, we will start to remember who we are because of that love. And once we remember who we are, we will start to sing a song of gratitude because of our creation, because we can see the holiness, the beauty, and the magnificence of who we truly are. And once we know who we are, we will begin to shine in the light of Christ and to accomplish the purpose of our life, which is to be the Christ that we truly are, here and now in our humanity in our daily reality. So thank you for allowing us to go to the basis of this, which is to return to the first love that we have, which is our creator, which is God.
Right. You said something, one of the other participants said something about the future of our consciousness and how we're growing, I guess, collectively. How are you seeing that, and what's happening? Not that we don't sense it, but how do we sense this collectively? That would be one kind of question.
Sure. Based on the revelation that I received, we are living in the time of the great transformation, which is called the birth of Christ in us. We are living in one of the most holy and sacred times in our history as humankind. We are being witness of that birth. So this birth of Christ is creating a new earthly kingdom. That new earthly kingdom is born from our Divine Mother, who is the source of our soul. And she is giving life to this new creation. That new creation, which is called a new earthly kingdom by Jesus and Mary in the manifestation that I received, is a reality in which the material reality, the physical universe, and the spiritual reality will be seen and live as the unity that they are. So we will be able to live in our humanity as the Christ that we are, and we can be, we will also able to interact whether we want to express ourselves more physically or more spiritually, because there will be a dialogue, an open dialogue, and a visible dialogue between heaven and earth. And this new humanity is here now. We are that new humanity. We are given the first steps of this new creation, which is growing day after day in terms of awareness. So what is happening with this transformation is that our consciousness is being opened more and more, just to say in one way, in order to be able to receive the truth of everything. And the truth of everything is that everything comes from love, and just love will be extended eternally. And one important message of this is that that includes our humanity and our divine aspect. So everything that we are as human beings, our body, our mind, our desires, and our heart, and everything that we are is included in this new creation. So we are called to start living as the divine human beings that we are. And that is the call that Jesus and Mary is giving to us right now.
So sometimes I'm hearing other people talking about the same thing you are, and some of them putting around that sort of apocryphal images of a kind of cleansing or something that precedes the greater awakening. Do you have any insights on that? It seems a little scary to some folks, like the physical will be changed or something. Did you understand?
I just want to make sure that I listen properly to your question. You mean the transformation of our physical dimension?
Well, no, just the transformation of the whole world of our own consciousness as we begin to open and expand. Principle number 7 of the Course in Miracles says, miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. So there's this implication that there's a kind of purification that precedes the awakening, and that the idea of purification strikes some folks as something to be wary of, if you see what I'm saying.
Thank you for the clarification. It was shown to me and explained to me that this transformation includes absolutely every single aspect of the creation. So everything is going to be transformed and is being transformed into the love of God. That means our body, our the earth, the planets, the universe, and not only us, but also animals and everything that exists. So yes, the transformation will embrace everything and everyone. And talking about the purification, sometimes it's needed, sometimes it's needed. However, the word that I received from Jesus and Mary is not purification, but transformation. Because the purification has already occurred, has already happened. What is happening now is that our global consciousness is being adjusted in order to integrate the truth of who we are individually, and that resistance is what we are experiencing now. And somehow we can use the word purification for that, but that's not the word that is being used by Jesus and Mary in my case. The purification of the humanity has already happened. What is happening now is that we are adjusting our soul in order to live in the new reality that is here and now. I can use a metaphor for that, which is when you wake up, some people are still having resistance to wake up because they just want to keep sleeping. But finally, everyone will be awake. So I just wanted to make that clarification because sometimes the word purification has meanings related to something that we did wrong or something that we have to pay. I'm not saying that that is the meaning of A Course in Miracles,
right,
but sometimes purification has those meanings. And Jesus and Mary were very, very concerned about that and very tender in terms of letting us to understand that we are not in the time of thinking about whether we are guilty or not. Those times are over because we are in the time of the new, and the new is to accept that we are already the Christ that lives in us. So it's an invitation to forget about everything that we learned before and to be open to embrace the light and to walk through the light in order to make that light shine more and more every day and to forget about the past 100%, including the idea of being guilty or not guilty, responsible or not responsible, because those times already happened and we are called to move one step ahead. And the new is the light. The new is the love that we are. And our Divine Mother and Jesus is telling us that you are love and nothing else but love. And you are invited to start showing that in the happiness of who you truly are, and to trust in who you are, to trust in your holiness, to trust in our direct relationship with God, because love is transforming the universe, the world, and our life, and everything will be all right.
Yeah, it's the first characteristic of a teacher of God that's in the manual for teachers of A Course in Miracles. So that's where we start. There's actually an order to the 10 characteristics. Number one is trust.
And John, could I add here?
Sure.
Could I add something here?
Mm-hmm.
There's a statement in book 1, I think it's page 160 of Choose Only Love. It says, make unconditional trust the purpose of your life. And that phrase, which I had never seen until then, has become a central point for me for the last couple of years. And honestly, it was perfect preparation for me for the events of 2020. Unconditional trust. And so if we're talking about transformation, I might also add that I think it's in book 2, I'm not sure, that Mother Mary speaks about destructuring. She says that there will be the destructuring of the systems of the world before the restructuring can take place. So I realize that's not a question, but Sebastian, maybe you would want to expand on that.
Thank you very much, Glenn, for bringing this to this holy dialogue, because those revelations were significant also for me. First is about the unconditional trust. We are called to trust in this process, to have our mind and our heart focused on the fact that God is managing this process and he is doing everything for the best convenience of who we are. And so as much as we trust, as easy as it's going to be the process for us. And talking about the structures, Jesus was also very clear to me. He said, I came to transform the world. And I came to this structure to make, vanish all the structures in the world in order for everyone to see me in your brothers and sisters and in the creation. So what we are experiencing now is that transformation. All the systems are being banished in order for us to be prepared for growing in our trust. Because if we see this in terms of practical things in the world right now, the lack of trust in the authorities, government, church, families, and other ways of an expression of authority is part of that movement. Because once we cannot trust in anything that we see, our soul immediately goes to the real authority, which is the Christ in us. So we are in the time in which we are called to have our heart, the Christ that we are, as the only authority and guidance for our life. So definitely Christ is changing everything so we can start living in the new. And that's very important, I would say essential, to trust. Because that expression that you bring here, Glenn, says that make the trust, the unlimited trust, unconditional trust, the reason of your life. It's not just about trusting a little bit. It's just to abandon all of our heart and mind and everything that we are into love, and to trust in love. Love is conducting this, and love is creating the new earthly kingdom. And we have the opportunity to connect our heart with that trust and to live in peace.
It sounds so simple, and in a sense, it's just a matter of letting go and letting God take the lead. I mean, to really, that's what GPS is, for God's plan, for just seeing what the lesson is and following that without getting involved in it too much ourselves. It's sort of interesting the way that Glenn says, or you say that, you know, you didn't know how the book would be published or something, but it just, the right way was there. It just happens, right? It happens in the right way. That's very nice.
Right. And there was once in which I was receiving that revelation of trust, and let everything go away, let the past go away, and those kinds of revelation. But once our Immaculate Mother Mary came to me to let me know how we can do that. Because she wants us to have an easy life. So she gives us everything that we need. Sometimes we need knowledge or understanding, and she gives that to us. So she said, in order to make this possible in your life, what you have to do is to let yourself be loved. And she insisted in this, let yourself be loved, and let yourself be loved. And that is the reason why the second book of Choose Only Love has that title. So the invitation now is to be open to receive the divine love, to have the experience of that direct relationship with God. So if we are open to receive love in many ways, including our brothers and sisters who are instruments or expressions of the divine love, then we open our heart in order to receive the miracles and the grace. And because of that receiving, we can give what we have received. And that understanding was also very significant for me, because Jesus explained me that I was created to be loved. And nothing else but that. So when we open our heart to receive the divine love in every single aspect of our life, we are accomplishing the purpose of God.
So I'm reminded of the very first paragraph in the Course in Miracles, in the introduction, where it says that the purpose of the Course is to help us to remove the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. So that would require, it seems, that we become aware of what the blocks are, so that we can set the blocks aside. Huh?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for that explanation.
Well, the task then, I guess, has become one of seeing where we're blocked, being more aware of where we're not in alignment, so that we can get into alignment. But that requires some. The Course in Miracles talks a great deal about willingness. There has to be a willingness on our part to do this, to make the leap, to listen, to be in communication. Otherwise, we're still sleeping. Got any suggestions about how? I guess we get all, you know what, I think is so wonderful. We have the Course in Miracles, the Course of Love, and your Choose Only Love. It's all about, I love the fact that Jesus never stops speaking, if you will, you know, that the voice is always there and it's always been there. You talked about it, for example, with Mother Teresa and Teresa of Avila and St. John of the Cross. And now it's more sophisticated in that we can have this means of communication to the whole world in a way that we never had before, and an opportunity to dialogue in a very loving way, and folks like yourself to be guideposts along the way. So that's just an observation. I think we also want, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you for that observation, because this is one of the characteristics of the new, because the new is based on the direct relationship with God. We are going to see more and more that direct relationship in our humanity. So it's a relationship of trust, and in which we can you know, feel confident and comfortable with having a conversation with God, being who you are in our daily life, more and more, because that's what is part of the reality.
Right. So, Bud, are you seeing some questions coming up? We could do a couple questions before our bathroom break thing here, if you got a couple that you'd like to introduce.
Yeah, we actually have a few comments, and then we do have one question, which is kind of interesting. The observation is, it seems that there's an assumption here that the world of form has independent existence or otherwise is considered real. It sounds like it, says the questioner, but they would like some clarification. Some have said that ACIM and A Course of Love have contrary positions on this.
Thank you for bringing this very important topic as well. Personally speaking, I don't see any contradiction between what A Course in Miracles and A Course of Love says and what the truth is. Because based on the revelation that I've received, everything is part of a totality. There's no something like a physical world and the spiritual world as separated dimensions. So when A Course in Miracles say that the form or this universe of form is not real because just love is real, only love is real, is part of the way of we understand the world. So for me, it was a very important revelation that I want to share with you in order to use that maybe for clarifications. Jesus said to me, the world, the concept of world is not the same as the concept of creation. When I talk about the world, I'm talking about the interrelationships that human beings are creating in order to have one experience. But the creation that includes you with your body, your soul, and everything that you are comes from God, because everything that exists has its origin in God. And he went one step ahead and said that the union of the physical and the spiritual aspect of the creation in our consciousness is already realized. So we are now in a position of living in that truth, the truth that we are human and divine at the same time, and everything is human, I mean physically and divine at the same time. So for me, based on the revelation that I received, there's no differences between heaven and earth.
Yeah, we can say heaven has always been, revelation has always been. It's just a matter of it's not that it's coming into being, it's already being, always has been. It's just a matter of our realizing, it's a matter of our awakening to what's already there, to our seeing.
Yes, and maybe some easy way of explaining this from my experience and the revelation that I received is that once I received the gift of seeing how the unity and the union of heaven and earth is in a more deeper way. And in that vision, it was shown to me that everything emerges from the divine light, which is a light that has no end and never is off. And it's a light of beauty and holiness, and we are all there. And there means here. So the heaven is here.
Yeah.
When you see that, and this is what we are going to see when our consciousness becomes fully aware, fully awake, we will see that we are all together within the light of God, and we don't go to anywhere, and everything exists here and now into that light. And that light is beauty, holy, and purity. It's difficult to explain sometimes because there are no words sometimes to explain this vision. But what I want to say is that there is no distance between heaven and earth. Between our humanity and our divine reality, and the illumination and the awakeness and to wake up is to see that and to live in that reality.
Right. So it's 5 till 1. I said we take a 10-minute break around 1 o'clock. Why don't we do our 10-minute break now? And then when we come back, we're going to open it into the floor to anyone who would like to ask a question of Sebastian. We'll be able to do that. So Bud's going to set a clock for you, and we will see you about 6 minutes after 1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Monica, we'll get to your question.
You want to do it after or do it? Yeah, we'll get to the question. See you all briefly.
Glenn, can you hear me? Can you, this is Jimmy Murphy. Can you send me your number in the chat to me, please? You muted, so I'm assuming you said, I'm assuming you heard me. Thank you.
Oh, are you, Jimmy, are you looking for the phone number or the email address?
Both.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jim Murphy, is your microphone is on.
Okay, folks, we have about a minute left.
Okay, you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thanks.
Assuming that most folks are back, I believe Monica, we're going to go to a question from Monica now. You want
Yes,
to?
thank you.
Go ahead, dear.
Hello, everybody. And thank you, Sebastian. It's given me a lot of peace, just what I've heard so far. I've been a course student for 15 years, a long time. And I was just strolling along being a spiritual counselor and helping others to find peace within themselves. And then in this last year, I have experienced what you've been calling the destructuring. Suddenly my mother died, and then suddenly my grandmother died. And then suddenly my husband left, and that happened a month ago.
Wow.
So I am just in the last year, I feel that I was doing my work in alignment with Christ, and then everything in the world is gone. I can see the value of those being gone because they did limit me, and I felt very blocked by those relationships. However, now I feel very disoriented. I'm still raising a daughter by myself, and I need to work and create an income in the world. So I guess my question is, and I'm sure this is helpful for others, how to practically be in this new time when things are taken away and we wake up in a new dream now, how to practically daily, doing just the course lesson is not enough for me right now. I feel like I need more reassurance or more connection or more communication in order to be birthed into this new reality. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you for your question and for sharing your experience, which I'm sure is part of a universal experience, that experience in which we are experiencing extremely challenging times. And because you asked a question about how we can walk through all of this in a practical way, Virgin Mary, or our Immaculate Mother Mary, was very clear about that with me. And that is what she is telling us right now, to all of us. The way of walking through all of that in peace and in harmony is embracing everything that we are. When we embrace every single feeling, no matter what that feeling is, we are making the big transformation. So from the practical standpoint, we are called to embrace our heart, to embrace our feelings, to allow them to be, and to become one with that, with those feelings, no matter what the feelings are, and to give those feelings to Christ. There is a place in our heart in which we can live in the refuge of divine love that is the center of our soul. And when we join all of our feelings, our fears, our pain, our happiness, our hope, and everything that we are experiencing right now, and we collect all of them, and we give those feelings to Christ in the center of our heart, we receive the life that comes from our feelings, because there is life in each feeling. And those feelings that are sometimes difficult for us in some moments in our life will bring us to the connection with our heart. When John talked about the block that we have, is the block with our heart. So we are all called to be connected with our heart. We are in the time of the Sacred Heart. So from the practical standpoint, I would say embrace this experience, embrace whatever you feel, and feel the holiness and the divine essence that comes in your feelings. And in that way, you will see and feel your inner peace and the beauty of who you are.
I'm reminded of Churchill during World War II telling people, when you're going through hell, keep going. And the only way out is through. I mean, we go through the suffering, we go through whatever it is, but you get richer for it by facing it straight on and by living it, as Sebastian says, in your heart, rather than running away from it, which you can't run away from it. You know, we wake up. It's a good. I'm going to write a thing very soon on what are called learning devices in A Course in Miracles. It says several times there are certain learning devices, And one of the things that it says it's a learning device is an extreme experience. Right, so there's something about extreme experiences that have this opportunity within them to wake us up even more by taking us, as Sebastian is saying, deeper into our hearts and becoming even more aware of that relationship, the relationship with Jesus or Mary or God or however you see it, which that's wonderful. Lynn, I guess, has a question. And then Mark Greenfield.
Thank you so much, John, Sebastian, everybody here. Thank you so much. I kind of have a poem that I think would fit.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's called Rejoice. In light we hug. Gift is real. Celebrate who we are blessed to be. Mighty companions, we come together as trust in love is our way.
Sweet and very nice. Mark Greenfield.
Hello, dear brother Sebastian. Thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for being in general. The question I have is, you use the expression the pencil of God, and also the in your words that you have a discussion, and to me they're slightly different meanings. Do you have both or one at a time? In other words, discussion to me is more like at times you express yourself and ask questions and ask for deeper meaning or clarification. Is that more the nature of your interaction, or is it just more as a kind of dictation where you write down what you hear? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Mark, and for being here. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you very much. The communication from God to me has different manifestations, depend on the purpose of that interaction. Sometimes they come to me with visions, sometimes with symbols, sometimes with words that are dictated, and it depends on the situation. Talking about the books that I sharing, those words just come to me, and my body responds to the love that is inspiring those words. So I just received the voice of Christ saying that I'm going to receive the words, and I go to the computer and just start the process. When the manifestation has to be in, in a dialogue like we are having now, they come to me immediately with the question that you asked me. So there is no distance between the answer and the question, or from the question to the answer. I hope I was clear to explain how this process is, but what I want to say is that once you grow in terms of abandoning yourself to the voice of God, then there is no distance between what it has to be said and the moment in which that is said. So it's like a constant dialogue that is here with me 24 hours a day.
So that leads to, I think about how the Course in Miracles says that the ego uses the body for attack, for pleasure, and for pride. We've seen a bit of that this last week. And the Holy Spirit uses the body, the primary function is communication, which leads to communion. So the communicate, and then so we just get into this the communion place, the communion with God, which it seems like you're doing very well, actively. I mean.
Thank you for putting this into words. Sometimes it's very important for us to be able to put the mystical experience into words. So I really thank you, John, for that, because there was a long time in which I couldn't express what happened to me in the right words, because sometimes it's ineffable. But I think it is, as you explained before, we have the opportunity and the possibility and the capability to give everything to God and to live our human life completely connected to Him. And when we do that, our human life becomes part of the divine plan. So in my case, Jesus, Mary, or an angel or other spiritual beings come to me at the right time and tell me what I need to know at that moment. And sometimes that knowledge is not something about mystical aspect or theology or philosophy or metaphysical knowledge. Most of the time, these are practical things that I have to do, like where I have to go, with whom I have to talk, what I have to say, or they showed me different things with very, practical things. Like sometimes they say, don't take the train and take the bus. Do that.
Yeah, sure.
So what I want to say with this is that the intimate relationship with God is not just about mystical things or things that come from the metaphysical aspect. It's all about living embraced by love. The only thing that God wants from me and from everyone is to be happy in His life, in His love, because He told me that I was created to be happy in His love. And the only important thing for Him is my holy happiness and the holy happiness of everyone. That's why He includes our humanity. And if something can hurt us in this human experience, He can advise us and He can give us guidance and everything that we need, because we have a divine mother, and a mother is always taking care of the baby. And this is the call now for our humanity, is to return to the stage in which we are like a baby in the arms of a mother, just completely abandoned to her, and to trust her, and to forget about everything that we believe in order to live in grace.
Mark, you wanted to make another observation?
Yeah, just a quick follow-up. One specific reason I asked you my question, dear Sebastian, is there certainly are numerous people on this planet who do earnestly believe that they have devoted their entire existence to God. And yet they deeply feel, like say in an extreme case, that, you know, the New Testament is it and all that there is, and have difficulty accepting communications in, say, the way that you have received. I'm wondering if something can be offered or done to ease that seeming gap or divide. For example, let me give an email I sent this query to you. You know, in the late 40s, there was discovered in a cave in Israel a document from the Essenes, the Nag Hammadi documents, specifically the Gospel according to Thomas, which has words, I won't say in contradiction, but certainly quite a bit different than what the standard New Testament is considered to be, but much closer than, say, much closer to some of the works that we're doing. Is there anything in your guidance or in your discourse with Mary and Jesus that they can make it clear to the general populace? I mean, are these ancient documents of value to look at? And just wondered if that would help bridge the gap to some who I love very dearly and I know have difficulty accepting some of these more modern ways of communication. Thanks, I'm complete.
Thank you. What our Immaculate Mother Mary says about that is to forget about the past and to forget about beliefs and to forget about whatever our mental aspect is bringing to us. We are now in the time of the new, and the new comes from our heart. So it's an urgent call to return to the love that we truly are. So beliefs and mental understandings are always capable to create division and separation. And we are invited to move from there to a space in which union is the only option and the only reality. And that is in our heart. This is all about love. It's not about beliefs. All beliefs are okay for everyone who believes that. So there was a time in our history in which, collectively speaking, there was the idea of that the capability of listening to the voice of God was something for some particular people, some special people. That was part of the beliefs of in the past. But now we are in the new of who we truly are. And this time of histories will be more and more focused on the direct relationship with God. In fact, all the confusion that we are facing in the world is part of the process that helps us to return to that direct relationship with God as it was in the beginning. And that was what Jesus told me 4 years ago. I am creating a space in which, because of the confusion of the world, the spirits can be more open to return to the direct relationship with God as it was in the beginning of the beginnings. So we are called to embrace the truth. If we go to our heart, to the center of our heart, we know who we are. And we know that we have a relationship with God. And we know that with a perfect certainty. And that certainty is where we are invited to live, in the certainty of who you are. And what you are is in unity with God. So everyone can listen to the voice of God because everyone was created by him. And in fact, everyone will listen to his voice.
Lynn?
John,
Yeah, go ahead.
may I add, Sebastian, you said you had a question from someone that you would like to share?
Yeah, John, you sent me a question from Susan Queenie that I have in the email. May I bring this question so we can address it?
Please, yeah.
Thank you. Just to include her. So the question is, Sebastian, a few weeks ago on an evening holy encounter, you shared that Mother Mary is also very willing to help us with physical, worldly things. I have a big vision that would require a lot of finance. I have recently come across a book where money describes itself as love or a loving energy. And that idea gave me a whole new possible perspective to consider. I wondered if you could add further wisdom to our concepts of money, finance, spending in a way that helps the world to be a place of more loving. So that was the question from Susan Queenie, and I want to address it just to include that question as well. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. And as you mentioned before, John, when you talk about the body being used by ego or being used by the Holy Spirit, that applies to everything that is part of the physical universe. Everything in the physical universe is an expression of something that comes from our spirit in one way or another. So in the new reality that we are invited to live during this period of transformation, during this transition, we are invited to integrate everything that is part of this human experience into love. Money is needed in this reality here and now. And when we give that need to the Holy Spirit, He will give us whatever we need in order to accomplish our mission in this world. The purpose of our life in this world and the instruments that we need in order to accomplish that is part of a unity. So the Holy Spirit gives us the knowledge and understanding of why we are here and which is our purpose in our life, and also gives us every day the means and instrument that we need in order to accomplish that. So if that includes money, money will come to us. If that includes knowledge, knowledge will come to us. So the problem is not about the money, it's always about what we have in our heart. We can use the money for the purpose of our mission in this earth, and the Holy Spirit will send it to you or to anyone in the holy way that is needed. However, something that I would like to add here is that most of the time, precisely in the finance realm, in the world of money, is where we express our lack of trust. Because we are in a world in which we need money for almost everything. And money has a huge impact in our daily life. So we are called to trust more and more and to abandon ourselves more and more into God, and to know that He is going to take care of you, including the money that you need, at the right time, in the right way, and for the purpose of your existence. So we are called to give our needs to Christ and to wait, trusting Him or her that our divine source will take care of us. And this is something very important, because Jesus said to me once that He wants me to show to the world that His love is an acting love, a love that takes care about every single aspect of my life. And to understand that this is not a theoretical love or an ideal love, it's a human love that comes from God. In other words, that gives us the understanding of who we are. We are God living as human. And God can give you everything that you need. So it's just about trusting and asking Him whatever you need, and to wait, and you will see miracles.
We come back to trust again. We've got to do our part to be receptive to the guidance. Lynn, you have another question?
I just want to say about integrating everything in love. I've been blessed to take only the love from my past, which I never thought would happen. But it's true. It's true once you put your trust in love. And I have another little poem, if I can squeeze it in. It's called I Am. My job is to be love in trust of all venue. Informed spirit knows itself. Doubt acknowledged, but not believed, as I know now who I am.
Thanks, Lynn. Bud, do you have some other folks and questions in mind?
We do have another question here. Sebastian, can you please speak about the difference between the way of Jesus and the way of Mary? Thank you.
Sure, and thank you for that important question. There are no differences at all in the essence, because Jesus and Mary are Christ in the human expression. They are part of a unity. That's why Choose Only Love is bringing the devotion to the union of the three hearts. The three hearts are Jesus, the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and our heart as humanity. Because we are called to understand and to express the unity between the Immaculate Heart of Mary and the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Both are part of a unity, are part of the same reality. Every time that Jesus comes to me, He brings me to our Divine Mother, and vice versa. So the message of Virgin Mary, of our Immaculate Mother Mary, is always the same, is follow Jesus. And Jesus has always the same message, follow my mother. So there is a dialogue between both hearts. There is a relationship between both hearts to us. So they are a unity. In that sense, there's no difference at all between Jesus and Mary. However, there are differences in terms of the human identity. Both are human and God, completely realized, but at the same time, Mary is Mary, and Jesus is Jesus. And they want us to integrate that truth, which means that we are in essence all equal because we are all created by the same love, and we are all love. However, at the same time, we have our uniqueness, we have our personal identity, and they want us to embrace that uniqueness and to love that uniqueness and to respect that uniqueness. We are all equal and we are all different at the same time. And that is what Jesus and Mary is bringing to us. The reality of our union in God and our difference in the uniqueness. So we are all called to express the same love in our uniqueness. And that's the meaning of the unity of Jesus and Mary, to make sure that we understand that our uniqueness is as holy and as divine as Christ.
Rod, you want to make an observation? It's hard to come on, I think.
Yep. Right. Thank you very much, Sebastian, for your response to my question. Teresa and I have been studying in the 40 Days and 40 Nights today what Jesus says about the difference between the way of Jesus and the way of Mary. Now, it's pretty esoteric, and our understanding that we think we've arrived at today, rightly or wrongly, is that the Jesus way is a way that we as individuals can choose to follow and represent and exemplify, which is, shall we say, being an example life in the external world for people to follow and emulate. And the way of Mary, I can't remember the exact words from A Course of Love, but my understanding of it is that he is saying the way of Mary is more, and he actually talks about the way of incarnation. I'm not sure I understand what exactly is meant by that, but he also says that the way of Mary is about being at a less, I don't want to use the word extrovert, but I can't think of a better one, a more outward way. I don't know if that's giving you enough to work with, Sebastian, but those are the two aspects that we would be very grateful for some clarity on. Thank you.
And thank you, Brian and Teresa, first for being here. I love to see you. And second, for this important topic. I would like to say that for our Immaculate Mother Mary, it's important that we keep in the center of the purpose of our existence, which is love.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what I think about the image of Mary, of Jesus. The only important thing is the love that I receive and I give. So it's all about love. So if one believes, allows me to love more and in a more perfect way, that comes from God and is welcome from God. So Jesus and Mary wants to bring us to the union, to the unity of love. So it's all about love. The important thing is whether we love more and in a more perfect way every single day of our life. And talking about Jesus and Mary and the different ways, based on the revelation that I received, we are called now to the integration of the masculine and the feminine aspect of our soul. Because Jesus is all masculine and all feminine, and Mary is all masculine and all feminine, because they are integrated in the totality of what they are. We are now, based on what I've received, we are now in the time of Mary, which is the time of feminine, which is the time of the tenderness of God. So Virgin Mary said to me that this process of transformation, the birth of Christ, who is happening right now in the world and in our soul, comes to us through the tenderness of the Immaculate Heart, because that's the tenderness of God. So we are called to extend the tenderness and sweetness of love. And we need to integrate the feminine. That's why we are in the time of feminine. But the important thing is that the time of feminine is part of this integration process of everything that we are. It's not just about being masculine or feminine. It's just about being both integrated into love. And that is the meaning of the equality of Jesus and Mary, is the perfect integration of the divine feminine, the divine masculine into of what we are.
But did you have some other folks looking to ask questions?
I just wanted to comment on the fact, and I just put it in chat, that that was a wonderful question that you tasked to us, Sebastian. Can we love in a more perfect way every day of our life? You know, that's one that really should be at the top of our daily to-do list.
Yeah, it really should.
It's very, very powerful.
Yeah, and the answer is yes. And the way of doing that is letting yourself be loved. As much as you receive the love from God, which is expressed also in our brothers and sisters, as much as this love is going to be extended. And I think your question is very important, because when I learn and when I receive the knowledge of the fact that I was created to be loved, I understood that I had years and years of understanding and beliefs that I have to love and have to do something to love others. But because the other is God, as I am one with God, what can I give to God? I cannot give anything to him. Everything that we have comes from him. So when we change our perspective from looking for ways of loving others through different actions to a new stage in which we receive the love, we open our heart to receive the divine love directly from God and also from our brothers and sisters and in this material universe. And we accept that love, then that love will be extended because of what it is. It is the love that I received, who is extended without any effort of me, because that love that I receive when I let myself be loved transforms me into the love that we truly are. So we move one step ahead from a stage of loving to a new stage of being that love. So that is the call, to let ourselves be loved in order to allow the divine love to transform us in order to be the love that we truly are.
I like in the Course in Miracles, this says being. just being. Being is a state in which the mind is in communion with all that there is. So it's sort of a nice definition.
Yeah, and in fact, the last book of Choose Only Love, which is the seventh book, is interesting to see the title because that book is The Way of Being, which is, I hope Brian Longhurst doesn't mind to mention his book as well. The seventh book of Brian Longhurst is also about being the heaven, being the kingdom within. So it's all about being love. And to be loved, we have to receive that love.
That's all you gotta do. Bud, you got anybody else? And then we got another 12 minutes or so before we'll come to our end of our time.
Well, there's just an overwhelming number of wonderfully warm comments about how your message, Sebastian, is really resonating with everyone's hearts. And it's just very powerful, very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And for me, it's important that everyone knows that we are not here just because. We are all moved by the Spirit because we are shining in the light of Christ, all together, like a core, like a divine core, like a heavenly core, in which we are part of this magnificence creation. And because you open your heart, you are called to this co-creation of the new, which is the co-creation of the second Advent. And because the question of how we, of whether we can love more in a more perfect way every day is so important, I would say that it is essential to embrace who we are and to live connected with that, and to express who we truly are, because that's the way of bringing the new. The new will come from the truth of who we are. And because we are love, when we are connected to that truth, in the bottom of our heart, we become the truth that we are.
So it's really the Alpha and the Omega, isn't it? I mean, it's being born again into what you always were.
Right. It is actually that. So thank you for putting in that in those words, because we come from love. We are here to know who we are, and we discover that we are love. And when we discover that we are love, we know the purpose of our existence, which is to be. We have been created to be who we are. That's the only reason why we exist. There is a chapter in Choose Only Love that talks about that, and talks about how a tree is being created to be a tree. A bird was created to be a bird.
Right.
And we have been created to be who we are. And all the problems we create in this world is because we don't know who we are. And when we know who we are, we know that we are the perfect love. And once we know that and we accept that, the only thing that comes from us is love, because that's what we are. So we return to the origin of everything, which is the Alpha and the Omega. We come from love. We are here to wake up to love, and we are going to live eternally in the love that we truly are. So it's all about love.
It always comes down to love. Love is always the basis for whatever experiences you're coming to. That's how we come to most at the hour of our death, for example. We look around and realize how much we love those that are with us, or how much.
Yeah, and that's very important, because Jesus said once to me, and I want to share this with you because maybe it's useful for you as it was for me, that love is the convergency of everything in the creation. Everything is because of love, lives within love, and goes to love. So this can be a rule of discernment for our life. When we say, what would love do in this situation? Or what would love not do in this situation? Or what would love think or not think in this situation? We are bringing to our mind the perfect discernment, because all is about love. Everything is about love. So once we create the mental pattern of bringing everything to love, we don't do anything that is against love. And that question of what would love do in this situation will bring you and everyone the perfect answer, a clear answer. And in that discernment, you will know why love is the only source of knowledge, because it's the only source of certainty. So everything that we do, we think, or we don't do should be, connected to love.
Karen Floyd, you want to share something?
Yes, I wanted to share my appreciation for all that I've received, and to put this out and see, Sebastian, what you feel about this. For me, Mother Mary is all about receiving. She received and carried Christ just in her physical experience, and her ability to hold that energy within and let it gestate feels to me like what we're being asked to do is to be receptive to love, to receive love, like Mother Mary said yes. And Jesus was the expression, the outward expression of love. He spoke, he shared, he demonstrated. Mother Mary held that energy of love, and Jesus walked with that energy. Of course, Mary did too. But to me, when you said the three hearts, Jesus's heart, the Sacred Heart, Mary's heart, the Immaculate Heart, and our heart, that really resonated with me, to see that as the Trinity, where the two hearts become one within us, our ability to receive love and to give love. And it sparked in me the giving and receiving as one, being a way to demonstrate the cycle of how love moves and moves in us and through us. So I want to thank you for all that you've shared today. It's been beautiful.
And thank you very much for bringing this knowledge of the Trinity. Yeah, everything in creation is Trinity, but maybe that's for another session.
Probably.
Thank you.
All right. We only have 4 or 5 minutes left if anybody else wants to make any.
Actually, Glenn had a comment that he would like to share.
Very good.
Well, first of all, what an amazing gathering of people. You are wonderful. This is a celestial gathering, and I am touched. Thank you for being here. I also want to acknowledge John in particular. You know, the A Course in Miracles gives several characteristics of teachers of God. The final one is open-mindedness. I find John to be exemplary as an open-minded soul. And that is so special. So my experience with John has been that he has opened his heart and opened his mind to, I mean, he's been solid for decades with A Course in Miracles. He knows it well, he lives it. It's part of his blood and bones. And he has also opened his heart and mind to A Course of Love, to choose only love. And I know that he is also opening to things that he trusts as being true. So he has the discernment that it takes to truly be the editor and publisher of Miracles Magazine. And he's generously invited me to participate in the production of Miracles Magazine. So I just want to give a plug, not only for John, but also for Miracles Magazine, because, you know, it does take some money, some finances, some energy, some effort to put out the magazine. So yes, and here has John, he has already given every one of us, if you don't already have it, a free subscription for a year, I guess, of Miracles Magazine. Well, hey guys, let's also subscribe if you're able to, and participate in it. That would be a wonderful thing to do. You know, and also Miracles Magazine in the last number of issues now, has been presenting material from, how should we say, outside the box. If we think of all these traditional sources as the box, well, you know, we're talking about bringing forth things that resonate, that are true from other people, from other sources, and so Miracles Magazine is attempting to be a conduit for truth, in a larger way. So anyway, I just have to say that, John, thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Glenn. My goodness. One thing that about Glenn, I just love this guy's. Here we are loving each other. The heart. I mean, you see the emotion. I remember listening to a sermon that someone recorded. You gave at a Unity Church somewhere, and I just, oh my God, my heart went out to your heart. What else are you going to say? But that's true for all of us, isn't it? I mean, that's what's going on universally. We recognize that we have the truth here, and it's given to us in these words of Sebastian and Mari and Helen Schuckman and other. Beth Gear is on here somewhere, isn't she? Beth, my goodness, thank you for being here and doing what.
And Mary Scalisi is here. There are a number of other people who are absolutely receivers, and what a gathering of souls! Oh my goodness.
You know, Brian is here. I mean, you can keep running down the list, right? Well, we're all receivers, but what these folks seem to do is to not only receive, but have the capacity to share that, to give it back out into the world. They're wonderful channels we're all channels, but for the love as it comes from Jesus or Mary or the angels or, you know, wherever it's coming from.
Thanks for mentioning Brian. Brian's name. Yeah, he definitely is. Mary Reed is also, and you know what? We're all receivers.
Yes, we're all receivers. It's just some folks seem to have the ability to be pencils. And they get the word down and get the word out to the rest of us in a way that our hearts can connect with that and identify with it and say, yes, that's true. That's true for me too. Because as Sebastian's saying already, we all already know this. We all already know all of it, but it's so nice to have it underlined and put in yellow and say, yes, it's true.
May I just say, there is a power in this coming together that is, it is gentleness. Yes. It is acceptance. Yes. It is love. Yes. The gentleness of this gathering has gone deep into me, and I'm sure Teresa as well. But it's the power of gentleness, and that is surely the power of love.
Absolutely. It's true. It's a power. That's really true. All right. Good. Well, thank you all for being here. I'll be doing this by myself in 2 weeks on looking at God's plan for salvation. And thanks for being. We do need your addresses if we don't have it in order for you to receive Miracles Magazine. You can get it. We can send it to you in any event by digital format, but it's really much nicer to have the actual paper laying on your coffee table or wherever it is that you can pick it up and look at it.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know how to submit a question. Can I ask a question directly?
Sure.
My name is Mark. Thank you very much for your presentation, Sebastian. It's Mark Rowan. Glenn and yourself and others have talked about trust, and John talked about blocks. I have a block to God. What happened with me was, up until about a year ago, for a period of 18 months or so, I felt suicidal probably more than 150 times, absolutely awful. And what I'd do during those times would be I'd go on my knees and beg God for healing and mercy. And if I did that, the kind of feelings I was experiencing was massive fear, feelings of being very disturbed, despairing, loneliness, feeling very alone, awful feelings. And what would happen would be, if I prayed for about help from God, Jesus, not much, but enough to take the edge off those awful feelings. But what happened 3 times was, in spite of praying for over an hour, I got no help. And in that situation, your back's against the wall, you've got nowhere to go, and virtually you're entering the hell realm. You've been abandoned by God. And I can back that up from the book of Psalms in the Old Testament. At least 2 of the Psalms talk about the psalmist being abandoned, and possibly a 3rd Psalm. So the effect of that has been, as I say, that I've felt abandoned by God 3 times, awful feeling, and it's left me with a very bad taste in my mouth. At those times, part of me was absolutely hating, loathing, and despising God. And it's left me now, although that's part of me, not the full part of me, it's left me just feeling that I can only go so far with God. I can only trust God so far. So I'd like to ask you, Sebastian, have you got any suggestions? Thank you.
Thank you for being here and for sharing your heart and your experience. The suggestion or the comment that I have to share is to embrace that experience. That experience has a purpose, and you will see the divine purpose after finishing that process. It is a sacred and holy process. So we are called to embrace whatever arises in us, to love everything that arises in us, as Choose Only Love says. So this moment, even though it's difficult, is full of life and love, because when the cross comes to us, also comes the love. So as much as we embrace that experience and we accept that experience as part of what we are living right now, we will receive the divine message and the love that is bringing to us. So not having resistance of anything that happens in our life, or not having resistance of anything that comes to our experience, is what we are talking about. That is the meaning of loving everything that arises in me, because everything that arises in us comes from God, and you will see the miracles at the right time if you don't see them right now. But if you embrace that experience and you take the resistance away, you will understand that the problem is not the situation or what we are having as experience, but our interpretation of that situation. And that is going to be the biggest and deeper miracle that we will receive when we embrace the cross, when we embrace the darkness that we are experiencing. The miracle of understanding everything from the eyes of Christ, which is the eyes of the truth. So as much as we embrace everything that comes to us as something that comes from God, as much as we will understand the process and walk through all of this in peace.
Perhaps I'm not hearing you, Sebastian, but I find that if I do embrace that experience, what I feel at the moment in part of me is hating, loathing, and despising God. That's what embracing it does for me at the moment. Possibly that will change, but I think first and foremost, it's important to be absolutely honest in your relationship with God. I'm not saying that's my complete experience of God, because there have been times in the past many years ago when God did definitely help me. But I'm just saying that embracing that experience, that's my understanding of that at this moment.
Right. That's what I was saying earlier about the only way out is through. To talk about embracing it. And after the darkness comes the dawn. It always happens. The dawn is there too. Always. The love is always there. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. I'd like to, if we can, Brett, can you get up to the last of the, near the end of the slides there, and we'll do the Lord's Prayer from A Course in Miracles together, and then we go into gallery view and can say our goodbyes to each other that way.
Of course.
Okay,
Give me
good.
just a moment. We'll get that up.
You're probably all familiar with this. It's page 350 from A Course in Miracles, the end of chapter 6, or 16. I'll read it, and you can just close your eyes and listen, or say it silently with your mics off as I read through it. Forgive us our illusions, Father, and help us to accept our true relationship with you, in which there are no illusions and where none can ever enter. Our holiness is yours. What can there be in us that needs forgiveness when yours is perfect? The sleep of forgetfulness is only the unwillingness to remember your forgiveness and your love. Let us not wander into temptation, for the temptation of the Son of God is not your will. And let us receive only what you have given, and accept but this into the heart which you created and which you love. Amen. Let's go to full gallery view, and we can share some goodbyes that way with each other. Each of us. Hold on.
Yeah, if everybody can go and choose view and click gallery, that'd be great.
Yeah, I just click the gallery. Obviously, some of you on Tuesday, and thank you so much for being here. Audrey, 2 days from now, Audrey, you have your operation, right? So blessings. I know that operation is going to go really, really well.
Thank you very much, John.
Yeah, it'll be smooth.
Thanks.
You'll wake up and it'll be all good.
I hope so.
Yeah, it will be.
I feel that way too. I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Sam and I would like to share with you a moment. Sam was sick for about 6 weeks, where we were doing IVs on him twice a day, taking antibiotics 4 times a day. And when you're talking about receiving love, there was a point when we had started Choose Only Love. We'll be starting the 4th book here soon. And we were using 2 prayers every night before when I had to do the last strip for him because we'd stay up really late and then have to get up at 6 in the morning. And there were 2 prayers. I don't have book 1 or 2 with me and I'm too nervous to repeat them, but it started out with, "Oh, divine mercy, infinite compassion, you are amazement of the angels and delight of the hearts thirsting for love and truth. Before everything existed, you existed. In you, everything was created. You are the safe refuge for souls and minds seeking calm. Here I am, divine mercy." It goes on, and then "Here I am, divine mercy. Here I am, essence of my being. Spill your love in me and water the earth with your love." The other one that we did, which was, you want to repeat that, Sam? "Oh, divine, infinite."
I am the living Christ who lives in me. I am the truth of the Father come true. I am the face of love that only I can be. I am very holy. I am one with my Heavenly Father. I am the joy of God.
And when we were doing this, Sam was, totally cleaning out. These antibiotics were very strong. He didn't have COVID, but it was like a disease like that. Anyway, in the process, his mother, who he never really felt like loved him enough, came to him and said to him, "Feel the love." I just want to say, a lot of people have been talking today, and we did the Course of Miracles. We did the Course of Love, and now we're doing Choose Only Love. And I feel it's a continuation. And, this is really bringing me back, Choose Only Love. I even studied Tibetan Buddhism and videotaped them for years.
Good.
I just want to say that this is really very, very powerful. So if you haven't had a chance to look at it, please do. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Sebastian, for being the pencil, being the love, being all this, because it's really saved us. We were having major problems. And so I'm just giving you my heart. This was my heart. This was my experience. And I really thank all of you and for everything.
Thank you, Adele and Sam. Where are you guys from?
Grass Valley, California.
And we were lucky to be in Glenn's group. Yay.
Oh, really great.
We're in Glenn's group, excuse me. And we met Sebastian. And I feel the love. And it's just, I'm really thankful.
Thankful for you too. Alrighty, thank you all for being here, and I hope you enjoy the balance of your Sunday afternoons, whatever you're going to do, and see you down the road somewhere as we continue to go through this school. Both it's interesting.
See you on Wednesday, Glenn.
They all say.
And I will be buying your magazine.
Love you, John. Namaste.
You too, hon.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sebastian and John and everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Bud.
Thank you.
God bless.
Bye. Rija, Joy, so good to see you, hon.
Thank you.
Andy.
Love you. Thank you.
For this day. Thank you for all your
support.
Blessings all.
Dan, so good to see you.
Thank you. Thank
All right,
you.
the two of you.
Love, love.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye, Audrey.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye.
See you,
Bless
Jenny.
you all.
Bless you.
The family of Christ.
All right. Monica, thanks for your presence.
Growing.
God bless. Suzanne. Nice seeing you. Len.
Bye, John.
Just.
Beautiful, mighty companion.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Bud. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Without him, we wouldn't have the One Mind Foundation. Really, really true. Mary Beth, so good. I want you to, or maybe thought you'd talk about Jesus and Mary another time.
Thank you so much. I just want to say, oh my God, I'm so bursting to full with the love in the room and appreciation and gratitude. Thank you all so much. Every voice, every heart that's beating right now in this wholeness, in the peace of Christ, in the love of Mary. Sebastian, you rock. Glenn, you rock. John, you rock. Dove, you rock.
Over here.
Oh my God.
Mary Beth,
love
you say
you.
that all the time.
Well,
Okay.
it's there, isn't it?
Sure.
This is who we are.
Brooke and Michael, my goodness, good seeing you guys.
Hi, John.
Yeah.
Good to see
Thank you
everybody.
so much.
Wonderful, beautiful, heartful time today.
Blown away.
We may not have miracles in Manhattan, but we got a new channel.
Okay.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
All right, so long.
And miracles across the universe now, thanks to you, John.
Janine. See y'all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really inspiring, Sebastian, really. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Sebastian, really.
Hi, John. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So much love.
Sebastian and Cordias.
Annie.
And my
Thank you for
wife.
bringing everybody together, John.
Sebastian, I'll
Thank
be
you.
talking to you. Send you an email tomorrow.
Thank you for making this happening, John.
Oh, there wasn't any choice, actually.
It's the names.
All you've done, everything you've done for everybody and us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Bob and Jenny.
And Ann Svensson, it's good to see you. She's in Norway.
Oh, yeah. We had one from Germany here too. And the Netherlands. Yeah. Annie.
Look at Sebastian.
Bud, thanks for your help today. Those two clouds over the back of you look like you got wings that are going out from the.
We all have wings.
Thought about that too.
Yeah, but yours are actually visible. I know they're just clouds, but.
And Rev Rija, it's so nice to see you.
Oh, Glenn and everyone, thank you. I'm so blessed to be here. I'm
Rija,
just
I'd
filled.
like to talk to you if we could doesn't have to be this minute, but I have something I'd like
Okay.
to talk to you about.
Okay, we will. We will.
All right, we'll set up something on email or something.
Okay. Yes, we will.
And Bud, thank you for your holding of this whole event. It's really great and very, very, very helpful.
Yeah.
It's a holy space and I am blessed to hold it.
I'm glad to have Bud here because I know I can trust that things will work right the way they're supposed to with the Zoom. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Sebastian, I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, I'll send you a note. Good night, folks. All right, well, thanks for being here.
Bye for now. Love you all.
Bye for now. Glenn will be talking.
Ready?